Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 3. If anyone needs to go first, please raise your hand. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Shrutyajnam chapi mam vidhi क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O sign of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Arunita.
क्षेत्रज्ञानं चापि मां क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्र भारत
Kshetreshu.
क्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रज्ञानो ज्ञानं यत्यज्ञ ज्ञानं मम मम
Matam mama.
तं मम. Translation. O sign of Bharata, you should understand that I am the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Isha.
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Madhava. I'm sorry, Krishna Shish.
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयो ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Madhava.
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Rasapriya.
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O son of Partha, you should understand that I am also the knower of all in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Okay, next is Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O sign of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Yes. So I'll recite also Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 3. Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetragjyayor jnanam yattajnanam matam mama. O sign of Bharata, you should know that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Okay, both are understand. You should understand. Okay. Anyone else? So we'll begin with Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 20. So we're reading about the descendants from coming down from Maharaj Puru. So now we are reading about King Dushmanta. King Dushmanta once being tired after hunting, happened to visit Kanva Muni's ashram, and there he saw Shakuntala, and he was actually captivated by her beauty. His mind was getting attracted to her. So he approached her and he asked her, in essence, he proposed to her that he wanted to, that his mind was getting attracted to her, and because he was a descendant of Kuru, it was not possible for his mind to desire anything which is irreligious. Because his mind is desiring Shakuntala, Shakuntala must be the daughter of a Kshatriya. That was his conclusion. So he asked her, and then she said how she was the daughter of Vishwamitra Muni and Menaka. And so, of course, Dushmanta Maharaj was happy. So you see, she's the daughter of a Kshatriya because Vishwamitra Muni was previously a Kshatriya. So then, what did Shakuntala say? She said, please, she said, please accept whatever refreshments there are here that I can offer. You can please accept whatever I have to offer to you, like that. And then, she said, oh, lotus-eyed king, like that. So it was obvious that she was also accepting him as her husband. So then he said, you are the daughter of a Kshatriya. So it's a system in the Kshatriya families that the girl has a Swayamvara. She can choose her husband. So you can exercise that right of yours. You can choose your husband, like that. So he was encouraging her. So then she just smiled. She didn't say anything. That means she agreed to it. So then they had a Gandharva wedding. Gandharva wedding means it is by agreement between the boy and girl, and of course they take witness of all the demigods and the Surya and winds and directions, like that, making them a witness of their marriage. They get married. So of course in that purport Srila Prabhupada explained about the different types of marriages that are allowed in the Vedic system, and Gandharva wedding is one of them. It's approved in the Vedas. So this is marriage by agreement, but there is no divorce by disagreement. That's the point Srila Prabhupada makes. Marriage by agreement, yes. Now also people do marriage by agreement, but then there's also divorce by disagreement. So yeah, there is no divorce by disagreement. That's the point Srila Prabhupada makes. There's no divorce, period. I want to speak of, there's no disagreement in Vedic system. So then when Maharaja Dushmanta understood that Shakuntala is also agreeable, so immediately he married Shakuntala by following the procedure for Gandharva wedding. There is a procedure. So he chanted some mantras. He actually chanted Pranava, Om, right? And yeah, they got married. Let's see what happened after that. I'll just see 16 one more time. When Shakuntala responded to Maharaj Dushmanta's proposal with silence, the agreement was complete. Then the king, who knew the laws of marriage, immediately married her by chanting the Vedic Pranava in accordance with the marriage ceremony as performed among the Gandharvas. So we also understand that Dushmanta Maharaj was conversant with this system, right? He knew. Yes. So Srila Prabhupada again is explaining anything which is done according to religious principles, right? Vidhina means according to religious principles. Then it invokes the blessings of the Supreme Lord. So Gandharva Vivaha was also done according to religious principles. It was not done whimsically. That's the point. And if there is sexual combination between men and women without following religious principles, are you going to get blessings of the Supreme Lord? No, that's not allowed. So here they get married, right? Both of them got married according to the religious principles. Now, text 17. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji's turn. Amogha viryo rajarshir mahishyam viryamadadhe Shvobhute swapuram yatah kale nasuta sasutam.
King Dushmanta, who never discharged semen without a result, placed his semen at night in the womb of his queen Shakuntala, and in the morning he returned to his palace. Thereafter, in due course of time, Shakuntala gave birth to a son.
Yes, so
Mataji, you told some meaning of Shakuntala name. What was it?
one who is raised by vultures.
Okay. Thank you.
So King Dushmanta married Shakuntala. Remember, Kanvamuni is still not there in the ashram, right? So this was a Gandharva Vivaha. That means there was no witness. Of course, there were the soldiers, but that's not, that's not mentioned here. But he got married to Shakuntala through Gandharva Vivaha system, and he spent the night with Shakuntala. And remember, King Dushmanta is a descendant of Maharaj Puru, right? A very righteous, virtuous king, Kshatriya king. Again, see, sex was never used for sense gratification. Sex was meant for begetting children. That was so, dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. They were all spiritually advanced personalities. So therefore, even his getting attracted to Shakuntala had to be according to religious principles. He was so virtuous that there was no possibility that his mind would get attracted to something which is irreligious. There was no possibility. How advanced, isn't it? So, and he never released semen unless it was meant to beget a child. Actually, this is called a dhira. A dhira, not adhira. A dhira is a person who does not become agitated even when there is a reason to get agitated, right? So Dushmanta Maharaj never released semen unless it was meant to beget a child. So just one night he spent with Shakuntala, and he placed his semen in her, and the next day morning he went back to his kingdom. So let's see what happened after that. So his idea was, see, he didn't plan when he came to the forest, to Kanvamuni's ashram. He had not planned that he was going to get married and he will bring his queen back with him to the kingdom. He had come out on a hunting expedition. So now he had to go back. And then his idea was he will come and bring Shakuntala to the kingdom with him. He'll come back later or he will call her like that. He will send a message and he will have her come to him like that. But something happened in between. So meanwhile, Shakuntala became pregnant. That was already said that his semen never went waste, right? So she was impregnated. She became pregnant. King Dushmanta, who never discharged semen without a result, placed his semen at night in the womb of his queen Shakuntala. See, he actually married her, isn't it? Gandharva Vivaha, but it was a vivaha, it was a marriage. So now Shakuntala was his queen. She was his queen. He was the king and she was the queen. So he impregnated Shakuntala, and in the morning he returned to his palace. Thereafter, in due course of time, Shakuntala gave birth to a son. Okay, is Saujanya Mataji here? No. So Aditi Lata Mataji, Arunita. Kanvaha Kumarasya Vane Chakre Samuchitah Kriyaha Badhva Mrigendram Tarasa Kridati Sma Sabalakaha. Arunita, Aditi Lata Mataji. Isha.
In the forest, Kanva Muni performed all the ritualistic ceremonies concerning the newborn child. Later, the boy became so powerful that he would capture a lion and play with it.
Yeah. So Shakuntala became pregnant and she actually gave birth to a boy. And this boy, who is the son of Shakuntala and Maharaj Dushmanta, is Bharat. His name is Bharata, a very powerful child, prince. He would play with lions in the forest. He was so strong and so fearless. So Kanva Muni performed all the ritualistic ceremonies concerning the newborn child. So name giving ceremony or hair cutting ceremony, whatever else. So everything was done by Kanva Muni. And later, so now the boy grew up, the boy became so powerful that he would capture a lion and play with it. Mriga Indram, king of Mrigas, king of animals is lion. Tam Duratyaya Vikrantam Adaya Pramadottama Harer Amshamsha Sambhutam Bhartur Antikamagamat. Krishna Shish.
Shakuntala, the best of beautiful women, along with her son, whose strength was insurmountable and who was a partial expansion of the Supreme Godhead, approached her husband, Dushmanta.
So, in this context, because the details are not given here, I'm going to tell you. These details are given in Ramayana. So, I heard it in a lecture by His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj. So, Shakuntala, after King Dushmanta left, promising that he would call her to the palace, she was so much in love with her husband that she would constantly be thinking about her husband. She would be lost in thoughts, in separation from him, and remembering him all the time. So here was Shakuntala in the forest, in the ashram, and of course she was pregnant too. And she would be so much, in we are actually reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita about Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri, of course, this is transcendental love, love of Godhead. Out of love for Krishna, he was not aware of where he was, whether it was day or night, where he was. He had no consciousness, external consciousness at all. He was completely absorbed in love of Krishna. This is, love of Godhead. But sometimes, even within this world, when two people are in love, then they become completely absent minded in thoughts of each other, young people generally. So, like that, Shakuntala was so much, in absorbed in thinking about Dushmanta Maharaj that she was always like, oh Dushmanta, like that. So she would be like this, like not aware of who is in front of her and, you know, where she was, like that. She was not aware, totally lost in thoughts of Dushmanta Maharaj. So once Durvasa Muni happened to come visit the ashram, and so apparently, like he came and he's like, you know, you visit someone's ashram or home, they receive you, isn't it? Talk to you, give you a seat, and offer some water or some refreshments, some sweet words, like that. And Durvasa Muni came and he was talking to Shakuntala, but she was not in external consciousness. So, Durvasa Muni is short, he can get angry very easily. So he became angry, he became irritated, right? Can I get some water? And then there's no response. Oh Dushmanta, like that. So Durvasa Muni actually cursed Shakuntala that the person in whose remembrance you are lost and you're not even aware of your duties, that person will forget you. The person in whose thoughts you're lost all the time, that person will forget you. Like this, Durvasa Muni cursed Shakuntala. Then the other friends, mates of Shakuntala, when they saw that she was cursed by Durvasa, they went and begged him that she's not, she's not even aware that you are here and you cursed her. This is not fair. And then Durvasa Muni's heart softened and he thought, yeah, actually it's not her fault. Then he said, yeah, he'll forget her, but then when he sees the ring, right? So in Gandharva Vivaha, they have exchanged rings. So when he sees her ring, then he will remember her and then he will take her back, like that. So when her boy was a little old, Shakuntala took Bharat, her son, with her, and did she take her son? I think she did, or I'm not sure if she took her son with her or not. But she went to see the king, and she had the ring which Dushmanta Maharaj had given her, and then she had to cross the river by boat to go to the king's palace. And while in the boat, she was, her hand was in the water and the ring fell off. And it was swallowed by a fish. She was not even aware of that. And she just went to the palace and she's like, oh, my dear husband, Dushmanta, and he didn't recognize her because of the curse. So he said, "Who are you?" "You are not my wife." She tried to explain to him, and he didn't recognize her. And then she had to leave. So later on, that fish was brought, right? A fisherman caught that fish, and then I think he cut it open or he brought it to the king's kitchen, something. And then they find this ring. This is the king's ring. So they bring it back to the king. They recognize the king's ring. And then when he sees that, immediately he remembers, oh, Shakuntala, the girl, the lady who had come, that's my wife, Shakuntala. So he went to call her back. So he goes to the ashram, and there he sees this boy, a young boy, playing with lions. He's amazed. So King Dushmanta asks the boy, "Who are you? Who's your parents? Who's your father?" And the boy says, "You are my father." And my mother is Shakuntala. Like this. So once again, they are united. And this Dushmanta's son, Bharat, he becomes the ruler, the king, next king. So now, here we read Shakuntala, the best of beautiful women. So Shakuntala was so beautiful. There are so many, so many poets have written about Shakuntala. She's was the daughter of Menaka, Apsara, extremely beautiful. And also the whole story, right? So Kalidas has written a story about Shakuntala, and there are many famous works, poetic works on Shakuntala's life. So Shakuntala, the best of beautiful women, along with her son, whose strength was insurmountable and who was a partial expansion of the Supreme Godhead, approached her husband Dushmanta. So this Bharat, the son of Shakuntala, was a partial expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Amazing, huh? He was a partial expansion of the Supreme Lord. So here it is said in the shloka, she went along with her son. Then you may say, why then the king didn't recognize after when he came back and he saw the son, why he didn't recognize him as her son, as his son? I don't know. Maybe he did. He couldn't remember because of the influence of the curse, and then now it was as if he was seeing him for the first time, right? But yeah, he recognized after the boy told him, "You are my father." Then he felt very happy and proud. So, but this interesting point is the son of Dushmanta and Shakuntala was a partial incarnation, partial expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next, Madhava. Yadana jagrihe raja bharya putravaninditau shrinvatam sarvabhutanam khevag aha sharirini.
The king refused to accept his wife and son, who were both irreproachable. An unembodied voice spoke from the sky as an omen, and was heard by everyone present.
So the king refused to accept. So the details are not mentioned here why he refused. But when the king refused to accept his wife and son, there was Akashwani. Both were irreproachable. That means they were innocent, they were truthful. Shakuntala and her son Bharat, both were irreproachable, but the king was not accepting them. At that time, there was Akashvani, an unembodied voice from the sky that said that Okay, what did the voice say? That we'll see. But this voice was heard by everyone present. Purport. Rasapriya.
After the Sultan knew that Sakuntala and the boy were his own wife and son, but because they came from outside and were unknown to the citizens, he at first declined to accept them. Sakuntala, however, was so sick that an omen from the sky declared the truth, so that others could hear. When everyone heard from the omen that Sakuntala and her child were truly the king's wife and son, the king gladly accepted them.
Okay, so this is another version. So, as you know, we can have several versions. There's nothing, nothing surprising in that, uh, because especially the pastimes of the Lord, right? Here it is said that Bharat Maharaj was a partial expansion of the Supreme Lord. So the pastimes of the Supreme Lord uh, can have slight variations in different kalpas. They're all correct. They're all there in the Vedas, and so there can be various different versions of the same pastime in the Vedas. So that's not a problem. Okay. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying that Bharat Maharaj did not, he knew very well. It's not that he didn't recognize. He knew that his wife Shakuntala and the boy who was his son had come, but nobody else knew about it, right? It was a Gandharva wedding, and they're coming from outside. Nobody knew them, nor did they know that she was married to the king. So they were unknown to the citizens, like strangers. So at first the king declined to accept them. I'm just trying to understand what was the king's purpose in declining. I mean, what was he trying to achieve by declining to accept Shakuntala and her son? Of course, it is said, Srila Prabhupada is saying that they were unknown to the citizens. Okay. So I guess they had to prove themselves. Huh? I'm just remembering Lord Ramchandra's pastime where Lord Ramchandra personally had no doubts about Sita ji. But as a king, he had to follow a standard. He had to set an example. Because if he didn't set an example, all his subjects would also do, not would also, they would begin to do irreligious activities, and they will just quote Lord Ramchandra. He did that, so we are also doing like that. So therefore, when you're a leader, you have a great responsibility on your shoulders. You have to set the right example. So if Lord Ramchandra had accepted Sita Devi without any questions, after she was with Ravana for 1 year, in Ravana's home for 1 year, of course she was taken forcibly. It's not that, you know, but still, she was in another man's house for 1 year, almost 1 year. So then she had to prove her chastity. What if Lord Ramchandra had not done that? What would happen? And that's exactly what happened, right? The washerman's wife, she was actually having an affair with someone. And then she would come back to her husband and expect him to just accept her. So the husband said that I'm not like Lord Ramchandra, that I will accept my wife even though she spends a night in another man's house. I cannot do that. That means people were actually suspecting the purity of Sita Devi, and that Lord Ramchandra just accepted her anyway. This would be a great plot on the character of the king. So therefore, Lord Ramchandra, he actually didn't want to remain the king anymore, because Sita Devi is Lord Ramchandra's internal energy, inseparable from him. But because in this particular avatar he was playing the role of Maryada Purushottam, right? So he had to set the right Maryada, the right example for people to follow. So Lord Ramchandra said, I won't be the king. He wanted one of his brothers, Bharat, to take over, to take the kingdom, so that he could just go back to the forest with Sita Devi. He didn't have to do, because if you're not the king, then you don't have such a big burden. You don't have that responsibility on your shoulders. He didn't want to abandon Sita Devi after all the difficulties that she had to go through. Nevertheless, as a king, he had to take that step. Why I am saying all this? Because I am trying to understand why Dushmanta Maharaj did not accept Shakuntala when he knew she was his wife, and that the child that she had brought was his son. Why he didn't accept? Because he was a king and he had to set the right example. Yes, and nobody knew, exactly like Sita Devi's case, right? Lord Ramchandra already had, uh, you know, Sita Devi, do Agni Pariksha, right? So her purity, her chastity was proved, but the citizens didn't see that. Therefore, he had to abandon Sita Devi one more time, sending her to the forest, to Valmiki Muni's ashram. Like that, Dushmanta Maharaj knew very well that Shakuntala was his wife, but still none of the citizens knew about her. They didn't know anything. And the king, one woman just shows up and the king just accepts her. What is this? Questions can be raised. So it has to be proved to the citizens that she is indeed his wife, because he has to set the right example as a king. That's the point. And of course, Shakuntala was such a chaste lady that when the king refused to accept, then there was Akashwani saying that she is your wife. Now that Akashwani was heard by one and all the citizens could hear, and they immediately, now they will have that respect. Oh, she is our queen, right? Akashwani said. So then that's how Dushmanta Maharaj accepted Shakuntala. Okay. So Maharaj Dushmanta knew that Shakuntala and the boy were his own wife and son, but because they came from outside and were unknown to the citizens, he at first declined to accept them. He declined to accept them. Shakuntala, however, was so chaste that an omen from the sky declared the truth so that others could hear. When everyone heard from the omen that Shakuntala and her child were truly the king's wife and son, the king gladly accepted them like that. Text 21. Sonia Mataji. माता भस्त्रा पितुः पुत्रो येन जातः स एव सः भरस्वपुत्रं दुष्मन्ता मावमंस्थाः शकुन्तलाम्.
The voice said, "O Maharaja Dushmanta, a son actually belongs to his father, whereas the mother is only a container, like the skin of bellows. According to Vedic injunction, the father is born as the son. Therefore, maintain your own son and do not insult Sakuntala."
So this is what the Akashvani said. O Maharaj Dushmanta, a son actually belongs to his father, whereas the mother is only a container. So you know, life comes from what? Life comes from life. Where is life? Is life in the mother's body or life is in the father's body? That living entity, spirit soul. Spirit soul is in the father's body, in his semen. The spirit soul takes shelter there. And then this spirit soul in the semen is placed in the mother's body. And now the mother's body provides the favorable atmosphere, favorable circumstances for the development of the body, material body of the spirit soul. Of course, it has the material subtle body already, the gross body. So, what is the mother's contribution towards a child? Her mother's body prepares the body. But is body the life? If this body is life, then when someone dies, the body is still lying there. But still there's no life. So what is it that left that body? The spirit soul. So the spirit soul within the semen is contributed by the father. So life is coming from the father. And the mother is giving all the ingredients and the favorable atmosphere for the development of the body. So that is why when when Dushmanta Maharaj refused to accept Shakuntala and her son, Akashwani said, "O Maharaj Dushmanta, a son actually belongs to his father." Yes, where is the son coming from? He belongs to the father. Whereas the mother is only a container, right? A container. So just like the body is the container for the spirit soul, you can say. Yes, this body is holding the spirit soul. So like that, the mother is only a container, right? The mother is holding the spirit soul in the semen, and then she provides. She provides means she is not doing anything consciously. It's not like the mother is now, like when you make a sabji, you put this vegetable and ghee and spices, salt, and so consciously you're putting everything and you're preparing sabji. Is the mother preparing the baby's body like that? No. Actually, it is done by the material nature, but the mother's body is used by material nature. Of course, then why only this particular mother? The spirit soul can be born to any mother. No, only this particular mother, because of the karma, according to the karma of that spirit soul, and also according to the karma of this mother, right? That particular living entity is placed in the mother's womb, and then in the mother's body, the growth of the child's body takes place. So Akashvani is saying that a son actually belongs to the father, whereas the mother is only a container, like the skin of a bellows. Okay, skin of a bellows. You know bellows? blacksmith has these bellows. Well, nowadays I don't know if you see all this, but if you see, old videos or movies of a blacksmith, they have a bellow is like a bag. I think it's a leather bag, and then there's hot air inside, right? It goes like that, like how our lungs also, right, expand and they contract, expand and contract, like that. These bellows also, they expand and they contract. So the blacksmith uses this to mold iron. So it's made with what? This bellows bag, the skin. It's made with, it's leather. Leather is the skin of an animal. So the mother is a container for the child. How? Like the skin of the bellows. The skin of the bellows is the container for hot air, right? So like that, the mother's body is the container for the body of the child. According to Vedic injunctions, the father is born as the son. Therefore, maintain your son, your own son, and do not insult Shakuntala. So Akashvani is saying you're rejecting, but that is your son, and your son is your responsibility, not the mother's responsibility. You are supposed to provide for the son. In fact, the son is just another form of the father. That is why it is said that if a woman has a son and if her husband dies, she is not considered a widow. What do you mean by a widow? A widow means now she has no protector, right? A woman has, in her young age, she has a protector, her husband. But if the husband dies, then the woman has no protector, isn't it? But if the woman has a son from her husband, then even though the husband dies, still she is not to be considered a widow because she has a protector in her son. That means the son is actually the husband coming in a different form. So she still has her protector. That means her husband is still present in the form of her son. So who's saying all this? Akashwani is telling Maharaj Dushmanta. According to Vedic injunctions, the father is born as the son. Therefore, maintain your own son and do not insult Shakuntala. Like this, Akashvani said. So next, Anilambari Radha Mataji, purport. If you're able to read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat
Jai
Pranam
Guru.
Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
According to the Vedic injunction, Atma Vai Putra Namashi, the father becomes the son. The mother is simply like a storekeeper because the seed of the child is placed in her womb, but it is the father who is responsible for maintaining the son. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that He is the seed-giving father of all living entities. Aham bija pradha pita, and therefore he is responsible for maintaining them. This is also confirmed in the Vedas. Eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. Although God is one, He maintains all living entities with their necessities for life. The living entities in different forms are sons of the Lord, and therefore the Father, the Supreme Lord, supplies them food according to their different bodies. The small ant is supplied a grain of sugar, and the elephant is supplied tons of food, but everyone is able to eat. Therefore, there is no no question of overpopulation. Because the Father, Krishna, is fully opulent, there is no scarcity of food. And because there is no scarcity, the propaganda of overpopulation is only a myth. Actually, one suffers for want of food because when material nature when want of food, when material nature under the order of the Father refuses to supply him food. It is the living entity's position that determines whatever food will be supplied or not. When a diseased person is forbidden to eat, this this does not mean that there is there is a scarcity of food. Rather the diseased person requires the treatment of not being supplied with food. In Bhagavad Gita 7:10, the Lord also says, Bijam mam pasharva bhutanam. I am the seed of all living entities. A particular type of seed is shown within the earth, and then a particular type of tree or plant comes out. The mother resembles the earth, and when a particular type of seed is shown by the father, a particular type of body takes birth. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Big purport. Go over one more time. So Akashwani said, you take care of your son. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, Atma vai putra namasi. The father himself becomes the son. Atma means himself. Putra namasi. He himself comes as a son. The mother is simply like a storekeeper because the seed of the child is placed in her womb. But it is the father who is responsible for maintaining the son. Yes, it is the man's responsibility to maintain his wife, and also it is the man's responsibility to maintain the children. That is why you see, traditionally, it is the men, duties are there for men. Brahmanas duties, Kshatriya duties, Vaishya duties, Shudra duties, they're all meant for the men because by those duties they earn their livelihood and they maintain their families. For women, regardless of which varna you are, all women they have Stri Dharma, right? Women's Dharma. They are taken as a separate class. And of course, to whichever varna you belong or to whichever varna your husband belongs, you also get the same varna because you assist. So anyway, the point is it is the father's responsibility to maintain the son. You cannot just say, oh, you cannot escape that responsibility. As a father, it is your responsibility to maintain your son. Then who is the father ultimately? Prabhupada brings up always, right? Prabhupada is saying that Krishna says that I am the seed giving father, right? Who is the original father of all living entities? It's Krishna. Aham bija pradapita. And therefore he is responsible for maintaining them. Yeah. If he is the father, then it is his responsibility to maintain them. So same thing is said in the Vedas also. Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. Right? He is like among the unlimited living entities, he is also a living entity, but he is the maintainer, whereas everyone else is maintained. Yeah, Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. So the Lord is one, but he maintains many living entities. Okay. And why he maintains them? Because they're all his sons. He's the father. That's the whole point, isn't it? Akashwani is saying it is the father's responsibility to maintain the son. And Srila Prabhupada is saying Krishna is the real father. He himself says, Aham bija pradah pita. I am the father, Krishna is saying. So Krishna takes care of everyone. You simply from your side, you have to be completely dependent on him, like a son who's very obedient to the father. The father provides everything to the son. It's the father's responsibility. So Krishna will take care of, one who is surrendered to him, because of course he takes care of everyone, right? Even the elephants in the African jungles get their food. Who's supplying them food? The Lord is supplying food to everyone. So, and according to their capacity, the Lord supplies. To the ants, he supplies 1 grain of sugar, right? Whereas to the elephant, he supplies so many quintals of elephant food. So, the Lord is completely quite capable of providing for everyone, right? He's very efficient. He can provide for everyone. There's no question of overpopulation. It's not like, oh, now the number of people have increased. Oh, there's not enough food for everyone. No, it's not true. Yeah, there's no question of overpopulation, Srila Prabhupada says. Because the Father Krishna is fully opulent, there is no scarcity of food. Yes, he can have unlimited number of living entities, and he can provide for all of them. No problem. Because he's fully opulent. There's no question of scarcity. That's the point. Then when do we suffer? Is there is poverty in this world? Then why the Lord is not supplying to all of them? Those who are dying out of, or who are suffering because of poverty and so many other problems. One suffers when one turns away from the Supreme Lord. And when one turns away from the Supreme Lord, Maya captures him, and under the influence of Maya, he suffers. So it is a living entity's position that determines whether food will be supplied or not. When a diseased person is forbidden to eat, this does not mean that there is a scarcity of food. So from the Lord's side, there is no want for, food to supply everyone. Any number of people he can supply. But still there are poor people. So then you shouldn't say, or hungry people, you shouldn't say they're hungry because the Lord does not have enough supplies. That's why they are hungry. Can you say like that? No, you cannot say that. Why one particular person doesn't get food to eat? So Srila Prabhupada, see, brilliant example he gives. When a diseased person is forbidden to eat, this does not mean that there is scarcity of food. Okay? So if somebody is hungry, he has to starve. Why he is starving? Because the Lord does not have enough food? No. Because the Lord is not releasing that to him. He is meant to starve because he has to learn some lesson. Right? His karma. So just because one person is not getting food to eat, it doesn't mean that the Lord does not have enough food to supply. Like that, we should not calculate. That is the point. He can provide to everyone, but he does not provide to some. Why? Because they have such a karma where they are, as a reaction to their past activities, they're supposed to starve. We should not conclude that there is scarcity of food. That's why these people are starving. No, that's not true. Rather, the diseased person requires the treatment of not being supplied with food. Yes. If you have a disease, the best way to get rid of the disease is just don't feed it. Don't, right? Fast. In Bhagavad Gita 7:10, the Lord also says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam. Another place, the Lord says, I am the seed, right? Bijam mam sarva bhutanam, seed giving Father. I am the seed of all living entities. A particular type of seed is sown within the earth, and then a particular type of tree or plant comes out. The earth resembles the mother resembles the earth, and when a particular type of seed is sown by the Father, a particular type of body takes birth. Okay, so why all this discussion here? Because Dushmanta Maharaj, you better accept your son. That's your responsibility. And then, of course, Srila Prabhupada, takes the opportunity to speak Krishna conscious philosophy there, right? That Krishna is the Supreme Father. He can maintain everyone. So we can stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. We'll begin with Narsimhalila Chaitanya Prabhu's family tomorrow. We have about 10 minutes, 8 minutes left. We can read Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, and then Lilamrita can wind up. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1, text 32 to 35. Oh, long one. 1:32 to 35. Please repeat. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogairjivitena va, yeshamarthe kangshitam no, rajyam bhoga sukhani cha, naimeva stita yuddhe, pranam styaktva dhanani cha, tathaiva cha pitamaha. Sorry. Where am I reading? Acharya pitaras putras, tathaiva cha pitamaha, matula shvashura pautraha, yala sambandhinas etanaham tumichhami, natopi madhusudana, apitrailokya rajyasya, heto kimnu mahikrite, nihatyadharta rashtraannaha, kapi syad janardana. So we saw that Arjun is experiencing illusion and lamentation after seeing his family members on the battlefield, and then he's speaking these words to Krishna. Translation, please repeat. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself? All those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, well-wishers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, material uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me. Why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So Arjun puts forward his arguments, right? First of all, that he does not want to he doesn't want to fight, right? Because They are all his family members on the other side. So Arjuna is saying, now even if I won this battle, why do I want to win? So that I'll get a nice kingdom, isn't it? And then I will enjoy it. But I wanted a kingdom so that I can share it with my friends and brothers. That is my source of happiness. So, when all those for whom we may desire kingdom, if they themselves are dead, then what will I do with this kingdom? And then there's a list of all different types of relatives, teachers, fathers, sons, grandsons, like that. They are ready to give up their lives, right? They have come determined. They're ready to give up their lives and properties, and they are our relatives. Why should I wish to kill them? Even if they would kill me, why should I desire to kill them? I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. You are talking about just this earth. Even if you gave me all three worlds, upper, middle, lower planetary systems, right? You gave everything to me for fighting. As a result of this fighting, still I don't want to fight. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So, you see, the main defect in Arjun's argument is Arjun's decision of not wanting to fight is based on his pleasure. If I fought, then it's going to give me displeasure, so therefore I don't want to fight. But if one does his duty simply because it is his duty, regardless of whether it is pleasurable or not, that type of performance of duty liberates one. Liberates one means it gives purification of heart. Antahkarana Shuddhi will happen. So the basis itself, right? The platform on which of Arjun's decision is based on his personal pleasure. So that itself is wrong. He's saying, I won't fight with them. Even if they kill me, I wouldn't want to fight with them. And then finally he said, what pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So this is looks like it's a big purport. We don't have enough time to read the whole purport. Maybe we can read the purport tomorrow. Let me read a little bit of Leelamrita before we end. So tomorrow is your Advaita Acharya's appearance day, or is it today for you in US?
Mataji, today, Mataji.
Oh, it is today. Oh, I was thinking it's tomorrow because for us it is tomorrow. That means your evening. Okay. Okay, so I'll try to record something. So if you get a chance, you can hear later in the day, sometime during the day. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. So Srila Prabhupada is in Bauri. What did we read yesterday? So the scripture says that living in the forest is in the mode of goodness, and living in cities is in the mode of passion, and living in brothels, Bauris, liquor shops, this is in the mode of ignorance. So Bauri is in the mode of ignorance. Nevertheless, where Srila Prabhupada sat in front of his open Srimad Bhagavatam, that whole place, his loft where he was living, was transformed into Vaikuntha by his presence, by his devotional service. Even that which is in the mode of ignorance becomes transcendent. News of the Swami's move to the Bowery loft spread, mostly by word of mouth, at the Paradox. Remember, Paradox is a restaurant. So people at the Paradox restaurant found out that Srila Prabhupada, the Swami, had moved to the Bowery loft. And people began to come by in the evening to chant with him. The musical kirtans were especially popular on the Bowery. Since the Swami's new congregation consisted mostly of local musicians and artists who responded more to the transcendental music than to the philosophy, every morning he would hold a class on Srimad Bhagavatam, attended by David Allen, Robert Nelson, and another boy. And occasionally he would teach cooking to whoever was interested. He was usually available for personal talks with any inquiring visitors or with his new roommate. So Srila Prabhupada is holding morning classes. The people came to know that Srila Prabhupada is in Bowery, so they started coming to Bowery. So every morning Srila Prabhupada would hold Srimad Bhagavatam classes. And who would attend? David Allen, Robert Nelson, another boy. And apart from Srimad Bhagavatam, occasionally, sometimes Srila Prabhupada would also teach them how to cook. Only to those who were interested. Yeah, he was usually available for personal talks with any inquiring visitors or with his new roommate. Yeah. So anytime anyone had a question, Srila Prabhupada would patiently answer. Although Prabhupada and David each had a designated living area in the large loft, the entire place soon became dominated by Prabhupada's preaching activities. Prabhupada and David got on well together. Prabhupada and David got on well together, and at first Prabhupada considered David an aspiring disciple. Like he was asking so many questions, so Prabhupada thought that David was going to take initiation. So the rest we will read tomorrow. Thank you all so much, dear devotees. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. So
Hare Krishna.
tomorrow